Good morning, folks. A quick video this morning. I wanted to show you kind of the process of going through and adding more sawdust to your Mittleider grow box to top it off with sawdust. Throughout the year, typically twice a year, I have to add more sawdust into my grow box, and that's because the sawdust is going to decompose. The sand isn't going anywhere, so when you top it off, you only have to have sawdust. I have already put my sawdust in. My grow box, let me back up just a little bit, was down about a third in volume because of the decomposing sawdust. So all I've done is I've added more sawdust to the top of the grow box, and we are in the process now, of course, of turning that sawdust in and redistributing the sand that has settled more towards the bottom of the grow box. It's a pretty simple process. It takes a little bit of elbow grease with a shovel to get it done. It's not bad at all. When I do this, I'm also putting in my preplant just because I'm mixing up everything, and that way that preplant is distributed throughout the bed. This is a 15-foot bed, and it is 4 feet wide, so it's going to be treated as two 18-inch Mittleider grow boxes. Preplant is put down at a rate of 1 ounce per linear foot, so I'm going to end up using 30 ounces of preplant in this grow box in all. Your weekly feed is not going to go down until you've actually got your crops in here and you started watering everything. A lesson that I have learned over the years, I used to bring home the freshest sawdust that I could get, and it's more of a white color or a bright yellow depending on how you look at it. And I've noticed that I had a lot of plants, or most everything that went in, that would immediately have a nitrogen deficiency. And that is because that new sawdust, when it gets wet, it starts to decompose, and the decomposing process is using nitrogen. So all of my plants would show a little bit of a nitrogen deficiency, or a lot of a nitrogen deficiency in some years. What I've taken to doing now, when I go to pick up this sawdust, I'm going to the further ends, to the edges, where the older sawdust is at. It has been sitting, it is partially composted down, and it's more of this red color stuff that you're seeing in here. And with that sawdust going in my garden, I don't see as bad of a nitrogen deficiency. It's the same sawdust, it's just a little bit older, and I don't have as many issues that I have to correct along the way. We're still about a week away from our average last day of frost. When this is done, everything is turned in, I'm going to kind of level it out as best as I can with a shovel, and then I'm just going to let it sit. We're expecting rain in a few days, and that will help to settle everything into the box. And before I plant, I'll come out with a board a little longer than the width of this box, and I'll level it off. And I'll do that right before I plant. But this is all there really is to the upkeep on your Mittleider grow box if you're growing in the sand and sawdust. Yep, sand and sawdust. I'm not a big fan of the grow boxes, but for things like potatoes, sweet potatoes and carrots, and this is our box for potatoes, and of course the sweet potatoes, they're phenomenal. When I go to harvest, I don't even need a shovel, I don't need a potato fork. I can come out here with some little helpers, a wheelbarrow, and just dig through this by hand and pull everything out. It's much easier to harvest. You don't have a deformed potato or carrot. As always, thanks for watching, and if you have any questions about the Mittleider grow boxes, just let us know.